All right, everyone, welcome to another video. So guys, we're still in Bethany, Oklahoma. We are still on vacation here in the States. Just to kind of give you guys a little bit of an update. They are progressing on the home while we are here in the States. That's kind of what our little plan was. We've got people that are taking care of and watching the construction progress. And on top of that, guys, we've used our contractor or carpenter, as you call them in the Philippines. We've used him several times and for the last couple of years, and we totally trust him and we don't worry about things. But anyway, guys, here's some pictures and some video of what's going on with the house. You can see they've got the hollow block done now, and they're starting to form the beams for the roof. It'll be for actually the rooftop deck. So we're having a flat concrete roof with tile on it, and we're making a deck out of it, and we'll eventually have a spiral staircase too. So here back in Bethany, we have actually done very well. We did better than what we thought getting our errands run. What I mean by errands is going to the driver's license, getting them taken care of, going to the banks, and so on and so forth. We did all that stuff, and so the last few days we've actually been just a little bit on the board side. So we've just kind of went out and done a little looking around. Here in Oklahoma City area, guys, there's just not a whole lot to do, to be honest with you. So the other day we went to the mall. You guys that are in Southeast Asia, you understand what I'm talking about here. Malls in Southeast Asia are a big thing, especially the Philippines. You've got the Mall of Asia, which is, I think, the largest mall in Southeast Asia, if I'm not wrong on that. And but it's kind of the thing to do whenever you go into the big city in Southeast Asia, whether it's Bangkok or Manila or Cebu City. And so on this trip here, we wanted to go into one of the old malls here in Oklahoma City, just to kind of do a little price comparison and see what it's all about. So we went to Penn Square Mall here in Oklahoma City. And guys, this mall, right before we left, they actually had a big shooting there and all kinds of stuff. They've had some trouble. A lot of these malls in the Oklahoma City area have become kind of magnets for some trouble. The day we went, it was pretty empty. There wasn't very many people there. So it was a nice experience for us to get to go shopping and all that kind of stuff. And so we went to the Dillard's and JCPenney and Macy's and some other little stores, and went looking around and did some price comparisons. And, really, whenever you're looking at mall prices on some of these stores, like whether it be Polo or whatever, it's not too much different than what you're going to find in Southeast Asia on the name brand stuff. So it's real similar. Guys, those of you who've known me for years know I am not a mall person. Whenever I lived here in Oklahoma, I hardly ever went to the freaking mall. I hate the mall. I don't even care about all the fad clothes and all that kind of stuff. When I lived here in Oklahoma, I was a boots and Wrangler kind of guy, right? That's what I wore 90% of the time when I wasn't in uniform or a pair of overalls. Some of y'all have seen the Tropic Ready overalls that I made. But here, since me and Christine's been starting to travel around a little bit, I've tried to up my clothing game just a little bit, and just kind of have a little more classic look or whatever. But and it's actually made my wardrobe a little bit smaller, and that's what I want to do. I'm trying to minimize things so that what I do have is appropriate for going on a cruise ship or whatever the case. I want it to be versatile. That's the word I'm looking for, versatile. So anyway, guys, we went in, but before we went into the mall, I had to go do this because I've been craving this. Here in Oklahoma, there is a chain of restaurants called Brahms. All my Oklahoma friends, y'all are all laughing. But the Brahms Dairy, or one of the Brahms farms, is out there in Tuttle where I grew up. And I think that's the main dairy. They may have some more bigger places now. I know they had another farm up around Stroud somewhere. But the fact of the matter is, it's a pretty good store to go to. They have a decent hamburger. I mean, it's nothing great, but you know, when you've been living in Southeast Asia and the only thing that you have is a little Filipino burger, and I'm not knocking the Filipino burgers. They're pretty tasty whenever you're craving something. But whenever you just want that taste of home, man, nothing beats a good Brahms burger. And I had me a Brahms jalapeno burger, and that thing was absolutely delicious with a chocolate shake. Now that could have been a very bad combo. My stomach, you know, handled it pretty well. So no, you know, mad dashes to the restroom or the CR or anything like that. So anyway, guys, after that, the next day we went running around. We decided to, we had some time to kill before going to meet my son for lunch. And so we stopped by a local Home Depot just to look at different prices. And now there was a difference. We saw some huge price differences in Oklahoma at the Home Depot compared to what we would find at like City Hardware or the local hardware store in the Philippines. Now, guys, I get it. You can't compare hollow block to hollow block because the ones produced here in the United States are a little bit stronger. But, you know, it all depends on where you buy them in the Philippines. But for the same size hollow block, you're looking for quite a bit more. I think the last time, this last round on our hollow blocks, we've been paying 15 pesos per block. And as you can see here in Oklahoma, they're running, what, about $2.50 a piece. So quite a big, you know, there's quite a difference in the price of hollow blocks, concrete blocks. And like I said, I get it. I know a lot of you guys are going to blow me up in the comments and go, oh, them ones in the Philippines are junk and all that. Well, really, if you ask me, they're all junk. If I stood on these 4-inch hollow blocks made in Oklahoma, they're probably going to break too. I'm just going to tell you, they just won't break as quick. Let's put it that way. But guys, we were looking at lumber and all that kind of stuff. And I was telling Christine, you know, I was showing her, you know, when you buy lumber for your house in America, most of the time it's going to be like poplar, or it's going to, you know, here in Oklahoma, they sell a lot of pine, and a lot of it's farm raised pine, you know, but it's a very soft wood. You buy lumber in the Philippines and it's usually pretty good lumber. You know, especially when you're talking about Nara and stuff like that. That is on the lines of mahogany, and you don't find that kind of stuff. And we were looking at hardwood, you know, like the solid core doors and everything in Home Depot, and just a huge difference in the price of doors and all that, because all the doors I have at my house, they're very good wood and they're solid, and them things are heavy. It's a two-man job just to carry them, I'm telling you. And I didn't pay near the price that they're asking for doors in Oklahoma. So huge differences. And so guys, one thing that we did do after we went to Home Depot and before we met with Kyle, my son, is we went by the on-cue. And this is an on-cue that I used to frequent all the time on the police department. You know, I'd almost go to this particular on-cue daily. I'd go get me a cup of coffee or what have you. And I went into this on-cue and they completely did a remodel on this. This one's located at 9th and Broadway in Edmond. And they completely remodeled it, and I was like, man, when did they do this? So I asked the guys and they said, oh, it's been done about a year or so. But it was just weird walking into this store and they've completely redone it, because it was a fairly new store. You know, the on-cues were kind of the new thing about the time I retired. And so I guess what they were doing is putting them in uniform with the newest stores that they're building now. So it's very nice. I went in there and I went in there for one reason, guys. It wasn't to buy coffee or anything. It was to buy a lottery ticket, because the Powerball here in America is up to $1.3 billion with a B, billion with a B dollars, not pesos, $1.3 billion. That's amazing. So I had to spend my $2, 400 pesos on a lottery ticket and get me a Powerball, and we'll see. Guys, I'm filming this video here on Sunday, and they delayed the drawing, and I don't know what the deal is behind it, but we still haven't seen the results of the drawing. So me and Christine, we may very well be multimillionaires right now, and we just don't know it yet. But if we hit that, you know, I'd say we'll probably clear about 500 million US dollars. And yeah, just maybe buy me an island over there somewhere in the Philippines. I don't know. We'll just have to see. I might do this. I might go ahead and get me a new motorcycle. We'll just see. So another thing we did, guys, is we went, there's a set of outlet malls over here at I-40 and Council Road here in Oklahoma City. And we went there. I forgot we went there on Friday or something like that. I don't know. All the days are kind of getting mushed around for me. But we went over there and did some shopping around and went to the Under Armour store so I could get me a few new shirts and stuff like that. Guys, you know, in Southeast Asia, I have got to wear like dry fit type clothing. I cannot wear cotton stuff because I sweat so bad now. But it's funny because I went running. I went for a jog over at Eldon Line Park here in Bethany. And when was that? I'm trying to remember the day. It might have been Friday or something. But anyway, I went for a jog. And guys, it's springtime here in Oklahoma. The temperature's been fluctuating. It's been cold one day, warm the other. So I think the highest has been about 81, 82 degrees. The lows has been near freezing. So that's just kind of typical for Oklahoma. It's actually kind of a chilly day today. Looks like there's a low pressure north of us up there in Nebraska land or something like that. But I went jogging, and it was kind of a day. It was probably in the upper 70s, maybe lower 80s. I can't remember. But I went jogging, and I ran my 2 miles that I typically do. And I didn't even break a sweat during my run because yes, I still sweat a lot in the Philippines in the tropics heat, but I don't sweat as bad as I used to when I first got there. And now that I'm kind of accustomed to that high humidity, this dry air that we have here in Oklahoma, it seems very dry to me now. It's like my lips are all chapped and stuff like that. And Christine's been constantly trying to hit me with the whatever, the chapstick or whatever. And I'm like, no, I don't like that junk on my lips. But it was just weird to me going for a 2 mile run. And I kept a pretty decent pace for this old fat boy. And I didn't even really break a sweat. It is Sunday. I'm getting a third day to spend with my son. We've had some really good times together, eating and just talking, just catching up on everything, and really enjoyed the time I've gotten to spend with my son on this trip. It's been really nice. It's really made my heart and my soul full, so I like it. But anyway, he's coming over this afternoon, and so we went up to Crest this morning, to Crest Foods. Guys, Crest Foods is a chain here in Oklahoma City, and they still do things right. And I'm going to give them a shout out, because when you go to Crest Foods, they've got plenty of lanes open, even on a Sunday. And at every lane, they have 2 people working at the register. They've got one person that's checking you and the other person that's bagging your stuff. And then if you're like an older person or you're a pregnant lady or something like that, they'll even carry your groceries out for you to your car, just like the old days back whenever I was a kid. And that is excellent customer service. As a matter of fact, we were talking about that. We were in the checkout line, and there was some Karen that walked out cussing and screaming and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I can't believe anybody would gripe about Crest Foods customer service after going to, you know, some of the other places like Walmart or what have you, where it's all self-checkout and they have one lane where they'll check you and it's just one poor person that's getting overrun. Guys, it's absolutely ridiculous that somebody would be upset. They're just mad at the world, I guess, if they're going to be upset at Crest Foods, because Crest Foods does it right. I love to see good customer service, and a big shout out to Crest Foods. But we went in there, and so in the Philippines, guys, we'll buy these chickens, right? And you can get these frozen chickens in the Philippines sometimes. Out in the province where we live, if they're available. And these chickens are a little bit smaller than the ones you're going to find here in America, but they're also not raised in, you know, like you know how the chicken farms are here. I'm not going to mention any food names or anything like that, but they're not shot full of freaking antibiotics and growth hormones and all this kind of stuff in the Philippines. They're actually good chickens, even though they're froze. And I was asking Christine, you know, when we were living there, because she does all my shopping, she's my personal chef. But I was like, you know, how's the price of chicken, you know, compared to the US? And she's like, oh, it's about the same, you know, whatever. Well, we were wrong. The price of chicken since we have left has absolutely doubled in price. Used to, we would go to Walmart or Crest Foods and we'd get those, you know, 2 whole chickens in the package that are packaged together. And they were around 12 bucks for 2, right? For 2 chickens. We spent 24 freaking dollars on the 2 chicken combo. Well, no, we didn't get them. Actually, we looked at them and we were thinking about getting them. And we just went ahead and just got some chicken wings, which had also doubled in price. It's just amazing that chicken, you know, a meat like chicken has doubled in price. That just doesn't make any sense. But I feel bad for you Americans, man. I'm just telling you, for you folks that live here, holy crap, I can't believe that, you know, the price of freaking chicken has doubled. And I don't think the pork had. We got some pork chops and it seemed like it was higher, but I don't think it had doubled in price like the chicken prices have. Some of you guys may be able to correct me more in the comments, but just unbelievable. I mean, I really feel bad. My heart goes out to the Americans out there that are just struggling just to put food on the table, and now they're having to pay double the price for a freaking chicken. That's unbelievable. And it's chicken that's not even really good for you. All right, guys, so we just have a couple more days here in Oklahoma. Again, we're going to spend some time with my son this afternoon. Tomorrow, we're just going to kind of have a day of just chilling out and slowly packing our bags back up. Then the next day, we're going to go pick up our rental and do our final pack up and some final shopping. Guys, one thing that we are going to do on this road trip that I'm going to point out is we're going tipid. We're going cheap. That's Filipino for cheap or whatever. We're going to try to do this a very affordable road trip. So one of the things that we're doing is we're bringing a rice cooker. We're cooking rice, and you know, me and Christine's been eating a lot of junk here lately. We've been eating a lot of Western food that we're not used to. Our stomachs have been tore up. So one thing that we're going to do on this road trip is, yeah, we're still going to eat at some nice restaurants for, you know, maybe one meal every other day or something, but the hotels that I have booked have little kitchenettes in them, so we can plug in a rice cooker or what have you, and we can cook up a pot of rice, and we can go and get a little bit of like one of them $5 chickens. Hell, they're probably $10 chickens at Walmart now, the rotisserie chickens. And we can eat that, but we can do it a lot cheaper than eating out at these restaurants all the time. That is one thing I've noticed. The restaurants have gotten outrageous here in the U.S. It's crazy. But it is what it is. We're just having to try to adapt and overcome. So we're gonna be traveling a little bit on the light side as far as trying to save our money and spend that more on just having fun. So we've got to get all that stuff together and make another trip to the grocery store probably for our road trip and see how it goes. But anyway, guys, yeah, we're going to start that, and we're going to keep you guys along for the ride, because really our true vacation, where we don't have any, you know, errands to run, anything like that, starts here in a couple of days. And then we're going to have a 10-day road trip. We're going to go see the sights and everything, and have some good times, and we're going to bring you guys along for the ride. And then, like I said, we're going to end up in Miami, Florida, and catching that boat. So, all right, guys, I appreciate y'all tuning in for another video, and I hope you enjoyed the update, and we'll catch you on the next one.